Reaction video number 5. What if you were an immigrant? By Ben Hahn on TEDx Portland. He's a proud sponsor of University of Oregon. So he came to the country as an immigrant, and it's hard to tell who people are that are immigrants. It's hard to tell which ones are immigrants. And Ben came here when he was 14, which was in 1994. And he was able to understand what it's like to be an American, still be an immigrant, because that age. And then he talked about if he would have came at 10 or 21, it would have been completely different. He lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with his parents, and his parents slept on a mattress in the living room. So he would sleep in the 1 bedroom, and his parents would sleep in the living room. And then one day after school, Ben decided to bring friends over into his house, and his parents were shocked because they were embarrassed because they were sleeping on the couch or sleeping on the bed in the living room, and it's just not the normal idea house you see. But Ben didn't understand that because he didn't know, but he still didn't care. And then immigration is an unfair trade, and the parents pay the cost, the children reap the benefits, and the grandkids take it all for granted, is what Ben said in his speech. And then he talked about poverty, and then many immigrants live near or in poverty, and many do not. So it's some people do have poverty issues, and some people are fine, they're not in that stage yet. And many immigrants experience poverty in their own ways. Reasons we believe in experience would be it is followed by the dreams and the hope, and you justify that there is a better future. So the immigrants can believe in that they can have a better life, an American dream. And centuries ago, immigration was very different. Immigration was defined by something completely different than what we experience today. And in 1912, steamships, railroads, no automobiles crisscrossing on highways, no internet across to give information that today, how the information is being transported. The greatest suffering for immigration was caused by nature, by the world we live in, the physical world itself, distance, illness, and act of God's. Being able to sail across the world to reach America was physically challenging. Your ship could be shipwrecked, you could run out of water, you could die of thirst or a disease. And when you got in the train to cross America, you had no idea what would be on the other side. So these people are trying to come to America, the immigrants trying to come to America, have a better life, and they don't know what to expect. They are risking their lives to come here, going on boats, not knowing the risk, and then going on the railroads and not knowing where they might end up. But 100 years later today is very different. So the suffering immigrants is caused by a man. It is not nature for the most part. We have conquered nature. So now the immigration, it's not caused by nature anymore. It's caused by people in the United States, and there's people around. The nature is not really the big issue, with the diseases and acts of God and different things like that. It's just more based on the actual people around, not the nature and environment itself. And you can get on a plane and in 12 hours be on the other side of the world. Today, the suffering of an immigrant is man-made. By policy, it is separation, not distance. If I leave the country and I'm Canadian, I may not be able to get past the border. I may not be able to go visit my friends. So if you leave the Canadian border, sometimes they have a policy where you just can't just crisscross back and forth. You have to stay for a period of time. And then be able to visit my friends, because what if they question my immigration status on the border and reject me? This happens a lot more to Canadians than they like to tell us. People waiting 20 years to enter the lottery to receive a permit to migrate to the United States, watch relatives and nephews grow old and not be able to visit. It's prejudice. And it's easier to ship a box of bananas from India to the United States than to reunite a child with her parents in the United States. The world has gotten small. We have created barriers to keep people out, yet at the same time in the US, they will tell you that this country was built on immigrants and immigration, and that we are all a nation of immigrants, and yet for some reason we are uncomfortable with the idea of letting people in, while we recognize the value in the statue. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretch refuse to your teeming shore. Send the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door, which is a new Casas by Emma Lazarus, Statue of Liberty dedicated in 1886. And then the Chinese Execution Act, National Origins Quota System, and then in Arizona SB 1070, we keep letting our politicians pass these bills that like they're not really helping, they're causing more problems. The conclusion is he drew from it, all of this was that immigration was conservative. And the reason why the United States have a growing economy and population while the rest of the developing world has birth rate that is declining to the point where they are unable to sustain their own social safety, meet tax base, and the reason this country continues to have population that is striving, that is diverse, is due to the immigration. And most of the population growth came from Hispanic migration of it, where they have if it weren't for them, we'd have more houses to fill people with, more dollars, and retirees that are working folks can provide for the system, and fragile yet people want to keep everyone else out without recognizing that the system relies on immigration to continue to grow and support itself. So lead me to believe only certain kinds of people. It's not that the immigration itself is controversial, it's that immigration of certain kinds of people are controversial. Maybe not just race, maybe it has to do with the origin or religion that goes along with the immigration people. But my first memory of working in America was collecting empty soda cans from a trash can where they were clean. So when Ben was younger, his first job was collecting soda cans, which at the time, when you would collect the soda cans, the aluminum cans, you could turn them in and get money for them. And it was just per can you get paid for. So that's how some immigrations have their jobs like that. And for the second part, the population growth is growing off of immigration people, people coming here and starting their American dream and stuff like that. They're helping the America increase with the population, instead of how the other countries that they're leaving from, they're decreasing in population growth because people keep leaving or they're dying there because they don't have the right responsibility and right stuff that they need there. So that's why they come here.